Hello, I am Mugs, your S-Planet guide. Here we are starting our first chapter, that is crop production and management. In this video we will cover all the topics from the book. So let's start by saying, S-Planet, here we go. Before going further, you need to know why we need crops. As you all know, plant can make their own food by the help of photosynthesis. But human cannot, we depends on plants and animals. In order to provide food for a large population, regular production and proper management is necessary. Now you know why we need plants. But what are crops? When plants of the same kind are grown and cultivated at one place on a large scale, it is called a crop. For example, wheat cultivation and paddy cultivation. There are two main types of cropping patterns. Kharif crops, the crops which are sown in the rainy season, are called Kharif crops. Example, paddy, maize, soybean, ground nuts, cotton. Rabi crops, the crops grown in the winter season, are called Rabi crops. Example, wheat, gram, pea, mustard, linseed. Cultivation of crops involves several activities. These activities are the agricultural practices. They are as follows. Preparation of soil. Sowing. Adding manure and fertilizers. Irrigation. Protecting from weeds. Harvesting. Now we will learn more about these processes. Preparation of soil. Preparation of soil is the first step before growing crops. It involves turning and loosening the soil. Loosened soil helps in the growth of earthworms and microbes present in the soil. Turning and loosening of soil also brings the mineral-rich soil to the top so that plants can use these nutrients. For this process several tools are used to break the soil to the size of grain to get better yield. These are plow. Plow is made up of wood and drawn by a pair of bulls or other animal. Plow is used for filling the soil and for removing the weed. Hoe. Hoe is a tool with long rod of wood or iron with a strong, bored and bent plate of iron fixed to one of its end and work like a blade. Cultivator. Cultivator is an advanced tool which is attached to the tractor. It also saves time and labor. Sowing. Sowing is an art of placing seeds in the soil at particular depth for good germination of the seeds, with the correct amount of seed per unit or with good spacing between plant to plant and row to row. A good quality of seeds are selected before sowing. A traditional method of seed selection is done by dropping seed in a vessel filled with water. Damaged seeds becomes hollow and float on water, and healthy will settle down. Tools for sowing process. Traditional tools. It consists of a funnel connected to a pipe having sharp end. The seeds are filled into the funnel, which passes down through pipe, and the sharp end places the seed into the soil. Another tool is seed drill. It is a modern method of sowing seeds. It is drawn with the help of tractor. The main advantages are: it sows seeds uniformly at proper distance. It covers the soil after sowing. It saves time and labor. After sowing, it is essential to add manure and fertilizers. Fertilizers and manure are the substance which are added to the soil in the form of nutrients for the healthy growth of plants. This may raise a question in your mind: why do we need to add manure or fertilizers to the soil? Farmers grow crop after crop in same field. Continuous growing of crops makes soil poorer in nutrients. Therefore, it is necessary to add manure and fertilizer to the fields to replenish the soil with nutrients. Let's see the differences between fertilizer and manure. Fertilizers are the chemical substance which are rich in a particular nutrients. It helps to get better yield of crops, but causes water pollution, and excessive use makes soil less fertile. And manure is an organic substance obtained from the decomposition of plants or animal waste in pits at open place and allowed to decompose. Decomposition is caused by the microorganism. The decomposed material is used as organic material. The process of adding manure and fertilizers to the soil is known as manuring. A fertilizer is an inorganic salt, while a manure is a natural substance obtained by the decomposition of cattle dung, human waste, and plant residues. A fertilizer is prepared in factories, but we can prepare manure in the fields. A fertilizer does not provide any humus to the soil, but manure provides a lot of humus to the soil. Fertilizers are very rich in plant nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, and manure is relatively less rich in plant nutrients. After proper nutrients, crops required water, which is done by irrigation process. Irrigation is the supply of water to crops at different interval. Irrigation helps in germination of seeds, Transmit nutrients into the plant. Keep crops healthy. Sources of irrigation. Well. Tub well. Ponds. Lakes. Rivers. Dams. As you know, there are many sources of water. But how can you provide the water to every plant? For this, there are two methods of irrigation. Traditional method and modern methods. Traditional methods involves moat, chain pump, Deckley, Rahath. It also involves cattle and human labor. It is cheap but less effective. Modern methods involves sprinkle and drip system. It saves water wastage. It provide water to the crops in equal and specify amount. When crops grows, there are many chances that weeds also grows with them. Weeds are the undesired plants that grows naturally along with the crops. Removal of weeds is called as weeding. For that, protection from weeds are necessary. Weeds compete with the crop plants for water, nutrients, space, light, and they affect the growth of the crop. There are mainly three methods to remove weeds. First, by plowing soil before sowing. Second, by manually removal of weed by uprooting them from soil, this is done with the help of kerpi. Third, by spraying weedicides, to control weed by using chemicals. When the crops are fully grown, it is necessary to harvest them. Cutting of crops after it is mature is known as harvesting. Harvesting is either done by manually through sickle or by machine called harvester. Crops are cut but it is not ready for market. Threshing. It is necessary to separate all the grain seeds from the chaff of crops. Threshing is carried out by two methods. Combine. It is a machine, which have combine harvester and thresher. Winnowing. Used by the farmers with small holding of land. The wastage is used as the animal food. While the fine quality of grains are stored in storage. It is very important to have a proper storage, to protect them from moisture, insects, rats and microorganisms. Fresh crops has more moisture. If freshly harvested grains are stored without drying, they may get spoiled. Hence before storage, grains are properly dried in the sun. Methods of storages are jute bags and silos and granaries. I guess, after this lesson you will have a complete knowledge of crops production and its management. From here I will end this lesson. Give like if you get the complete knowledge of the lesson. And for any doubts don't fear to comments, it's always open to help you. And stay tuned by subscribing S Planet, for further lessons. Enjoy!